Welcome to Drawfee, where we take your dumb ideas
And make even dumber drawings.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Karina.
And I'm Julia.
And today on the show, we got colors.
Ooh.
We all have them.
We all have them, and we're all going to use them, but not the ones maybe we want to use. It's a random color palette challenge.
Yeah.
We pulled up this site that Nathan found called Colors. And it gives you random colors, and we randomed them, and we put them in the PSD, and we did a drawing based on the colors. That's it.
Good way to describe it.
Colors each.
5 colors each, 1 stock, Fox only, Final Destination, 5 colors each.
No items.
No items.
Stop.
No.
Items.
That's it. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Nathan, you're up first.
Did you explain it?
Nathan, is there anything you want to say before we start the vid?
No, you'll see what happens.
Okie dokie, let's go.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
I recorded the colors I got. So I got 4 greens and a bright sort of magenta.
Wow.
Wow, that's a really workable palette.
Yeah. So you're going to see me brainstorm a bunch of different ideas because I was trying to figure out what I wanted for like background colors versus foreground colors. And so there's just a bunch of ideas in quick succession.
It's like big thumbnailing.
Yeah. I guess I could have done thumbnailing, but I just did them big.
Well, this is that.
Yeah.
You did it.
So, you know, we're still in the ideating phase. Just trying to
There's Mr. Burns in the woods.
Yeah. This is one idea that sort of gets incorporated into the final design eventually.
Love that kind of leaf.
It's a good leaf.
Good leaf.
This one I kind of almost finish, but then decide no. But this was just sort of a pleasant.
Just a happy little drawing.
Nice.
And I was like, what's the red gonna be?
Hello.
Some clouds. No.
No, get rid of it. Get rid of it.
And then I come to this sort of like cave.
Yeah.
This sort of cave idea.
Yeah.
Which and then some like light coming through, and then maybe what if some like floating crystals maybe.
Yeah.
So this is sort of the concept I end up going with, but this I execute it differently than this. So this is my proof of concept.
Okay.
And yeah, this these greens, all these greens made me think of like sort of jungly
Yeah.
something, and then the red, I was like, well, that's gonna have to be the focal point.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
This is what the eye is gonna get drawn towards.
This is very national parks posters.
Yeah, it sort of ended
Same
up
color scheme.
being a very similar composition to my poster, my travel poster idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sneck. Snistle.
Hey.
No snistle. Vote no to snistle.
Snistle Chapel.
No snistle for me, please.
So yeah, once I had this concept, I was like, okay, I'll actually sketch it out.
This is pretty.
Yeah, this is very cool.
So
Yeah, it's pretty.
This
pretty
palette
cool.
really does lend itself nicely to a natural looking scene like this.
Absolutely.
I kind of lucked out. So I started with those sort of brambles, but I was like, no, let's make it more lush. We got all these greens. Let's lush it up. Let's make this sort of like an enchanted jungle that you come to this clearing and you just see these floating crystals with like a snake.
And you probably ask it a question or something.
You probably ask it a question. You don't, it might not answer. It might ask you a question.
Yeah, maybe it asks you the question, and you better have a good answer.
Oh no, I'm not gonna.
A good snancer.
Guy.
He's at it again.
He just can't stop.
And yeah, I wanted to do this sort of lineless style.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, this was a fun one. I liked having the concept have to come from the colors I was given. Like, I didn't really have a choice in that matter, and so that's kind of freeing. You can just I felt very loose with it.
Yeah.
I felt like there was room to play around. As you saw, I just was just throwing stuff on the screen, and then eventually decided on one that I wanted to work on. And there you can see the leaves are coming back in.
I'm definitely getting vibes
before.
of like matchbook illustrations.
Ooh.
Like 1950s, 1960s matchbooks. Because they're very graphical.
Yeah.
And they have that strong contrast in colors and very clear shapes. So you can read it very tiny.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
I end up adding a bunch of like little bits. But yeah, I
I
think
love bits.
them.
yeah, this is fantastic. Nathan.
Yeah, it gives so much depth to it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, this was fun. It was like maybe not pushing the old style that far, but like it was still like pretty different than what I normally do in my normal process. So
I'd say so.
Yeah. And
I
it feels like
love
you got
it.
to have a like sort of a relaxing,
Yeah.
just like enjoyable time.
yeah, this one didn't take me a super long time to do. I just sort of tried some ideas out, picked one that I liked, and then just sort of fiddled with it until I was happy with how it looked.
You had fun.
I had fun. This was a fun one.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
have fun.
It's okay. It's good to have
I
fun.
didn't put very much pressure on this one either. Sometimes we pick topics where I'm like, ooh, I want to blow this one out. And this one I was like, I don't really know. We're just gonna see what colors I get and go from there.
We
I
have such little
love-
control. that
Yeah.
It's like,
I love how you did the crystals.
yeah.
So pretty.
Yeah, good crystals.
Thank you.
Good crystals, Nate.
Just trying
Good.
just
Good crystals.
just redoing those lines a little bit, trying to get it to
Yeah.
look nice. That little flash was me noticing that for some reason some of the snake colors were on the crystal layer, which
Oh, of course.
I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, that's life.
Yeah.
And then I thought I'd try
Ooh.
like doing some like lighting effects, but I ended up
Yeah.
not
Oh.
liking it.
Well, it happens. That's also life.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice.
Some light motes in there.
Yeah.
And, this is basically it. It's
I
just
want to
a
meet
little-
this snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he got to say to me?
Yeah, I want to hear what
Well,
he
you
has
don't
to
know.
say.
You just sort of leave it ambiguous. I kind of like that because sometimes you put a little figure in the foreground for scale because you can't
Mhm.
really tell how big this snake is, but I decided to leave it ambiguous. Maybe it's a little snake, maybe it's a big snake. You don't know.
Yeah,
In
It's
my
up to
mind, it's a big snake, but
I like to think
it can
so.
be any size snake.
This is
Nathan,
wonderful.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so cool.
I love it.
Thank you.
Fun to watch and fun to see.
This one was just fun.
Yeah.
This is the chill episode.
Yeah,
We're just chilling.
I'm excited to see what colors y'all got. I feel like I got some ones that played nice together.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, great job, Nathan.
Thank you.
It's my turn next.
Mm-hmm.
And for mine, to preface it, because it starts out pretty fast, because I already have all the colors in and everything, I thought it would be fun to, instead of like working with the colors directly, I've always wanted to mess around with gradient maps.
Ooh.
So I set up a gradient map ahead of time, which if you don't know what that is you can apply a gradient that when you put it over the top of the image, it takes the colors you selected and overlays them based on the lightness of the colors in your image along a map. So I took all 5 colors and put them on a gradient going from like darkest to lightest. So like all like the darkest colors would be whatever the first color is, and all the lightest colors would be whatever the lightest color is. Then I did the whole thing in grayscale and gradient mapped it at the end just to see
Oh.
what I got.
Whoa.
That's
Like as a
fun.
roll of the dice, basically.
Interesting.
And then manipulated that a little bit. And I had like plans to do a whole thing, but I ended up doing a warm-up sketch that I liked, so I just kept going with that, kind of like Nathan.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I'll get into it. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so you can see on my layers over there, there's a gradient map that's turned off on top of all the layers, because I made that ahead of time. Because I wanted to just be able to click it on at the end and see
these
what
are cute
happened.
colors.
But you can see my
Yeah.
colors up there on the top left.
They're like very Powerpuff Girl colors.
Yeah. They're like fun, but they don't really go that great together in all cases. But
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see what would happen. And I started sketching this dude because I was just trying to warm up my hand. But I was like, oh, I kind of like him. And so I was like, let's just see where it goes.
I like this. Oh, he's got a horn.
So I decided to give him a
No.
horn.
Oh my
And then I was like,
God.
what if he's a demon?
Yeah.
Because I
Heck
kind of had
yeah.
in mind that he was like a sort of like a, rundown detective kind of guy. Essentially, you'll see I end up making a Drawtectives OC. I told Julia she can put this guy in season 3 if she wants.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I was like, what if I made like a demon detective who is only a detective because he is bound by some sort of pact? So you'll see he has like a manacle that I add to his wrist.
A sleuthing pact.
Like he has to solve something before he's able to be like freed and can go back to, Demon Town or wherever he wants to go. I just liked the idea and thought it was fun. And like, so he's probably not a very good detective, but he has to figure out how to do it in order to, because he's bound by some other person.
I love.
And
Yeah.
so then I just liked the concept and was just having fun drawing him.
This really was an episode where we set up a challenge but didn't give anyone a prompt.
Yeah.
So I think everyone kind of just focused on having fun, and I think that's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
We just went off.
Yeah, I was having like not fun at the start because I was like looking at a bunch of reference and I was like, I want to do something, but I don't know what. And like nothing was really like appealing to me. So I was like, I should just start recording and just start drawing something so that I can get into it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I started drawing, I was like, oh, this is fun. I like this guy.
He's a good guy. I also like this guy.
Yeah. And you'll see once I get into the colors later,
Ooh.
he truly does end up accidentally being a Drawtectives character
I'm so excited to see what that
in many
means.
ways.
That's fun.
I realized I hadn't flipped the canvas, so I took the inks away, did a quick flip, adjusted the eye, but most of it I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
And then kept on inking. I was using just like a very thin brush.
Smooth.
I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you do an ink.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
No, yeah, I've just been.
I do love watching you do inks. They're always so clean.
I have fun inking. I love inking. Sometimes it's a love-hate affair, Sometimes I'm just like, I love it, but I don't want to do it today.
Just gonna savor a good Jacob ink.
But I figured since I was already being self-indulgent and just like drawing a character and having fun, then I may as well just like do it in a way that I find fun too.
Heck yeah.
So kind of like Nathan said, it wasn't like a huge departure for me in terms of workflow. But I just wanted to have a good time.
I really do feel like that's the vibe of the episode. Just going off everyone's reactions so far. So I love that.
It's good to have fun sometimes with
It's
art.
good to have fun. It's when the prompt is this sort of open ended, you gotta rely on something comfortable to pull you back in.
Hey,
you know?
hey, viewer, you. Yeah, you. The one listening. Draw something fun today.
Draw something for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, for you.
Do
Just
a
for you.
self-indulgent art piece.
Yeah. Put pen to paper and see what comes out.
Oh my god, these shapes are so good.
Thank you. So then I grayscale color him because that's how the gradient map works. It works really well on grayscale.
Oh, okay. I kind of understand now. I was a little lost as to what you were doing.
It's hard to explain really fast.
It's
like,
okay.
without
No,
showing
I'm
it.
excited to see it.
But you'll see me mess with the gradient map a little bit after I apply it, and then I can explain it a bit better. But right now, it's just putting in all of the light and dark colors, and I wanted to pick 5 like shades basically. And then I end up also using black and white. I figured that was acceptable
How
to
dare
have
you.
in the palette.
I did that too.
Yes.
Because when I first put the gradient map on, you'll see that it's like,
It's printing rules.
yeah, it's a little difficult to deal with without blacks and whites, so I had to change it a bit.
Okay.
So I just apply a flat shading layer.
So interested to see how this works.
is pretty fun. I ended up really
know how to
liking
use
it.
Photoshop, I think.
I had watched a video of like a YouTube artist who was messing around with gradient maps on painted pieces, and it can make them look like super wild and trippy, and I thought it was cool. And I had always wanted to mess with it, and this just seemed like a good opportunity. But I did have to look up again how to do them on YouTube before I was able to. So I was like, which sliders do I move again? I don't remember how this works. So yeah, this is just normal flat shading. I just did a shading layer and then a couple little light points that I will add on the manacle and the cheek.
Has so much mood.
And I thought about doing hairlines like that, but I didn't like them. But I ended up doing something else with the hair.
That's my favorite part of these videos is when you see something come in and it looks cool, but we still decide we didn't like it in the moment.
Yeah.
That's art.
Shows how in your head you get when you do art.
Yeah, I did this instead. I wanted him to have one white
Oh, that's cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
hair bit.
Like, I think...
So here comes the colors.
Whoa.
And then I was like,
Wow.
oh, he's an orc, huh?
He's an orc demon.
He even matches York's sort of color scheming. So
Yeah.
this,
Oh my god.
here I'm adjusting the gradient map.
You really did just roll York's color.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I'm messing with the gradient map, and when I add in the black again and the white and then adjust things, you'll see that it kind of gives it a look, after I make a little bit of adjustments here, of like an orc who's half demon.
Yeah.
The shading kind of became like a demon part of the face that was worn.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, all right, so it's a half demon orc. And then I applied a little blur layer to smooth it out a little bit, make it less jaggy.
Does this character have a name?
Who is he?
I don't have a full name for him yet. I'm going to have to think of one.
Okay.
I had the name
Who is my
Grayson
new
in my
boyfriend?
mind.
Grayson.
So I think Grayson is his full name, and then he needs like an orcish last name, like Gore-Tusk or something.
There you go.
Grayson Gore-Tusk.
Grayson Gore-Tusk. I was gonna say Grayson Map because he was gray.
Because
And
he's
then
a gradient map.
Because he's a gradient map.
I like that even better. He's Grayson Map, the half demon orc or possessed orc. I don't know what his deal is.
Wow.
Yeah, Jacob, I'm a little obsessed with this.
Yeah, I really liked him. When it was all done, I was like, oh, he's a cool character. I was like, I'm just going to tell Julia if she wants to put a half orc, half demon
You got it.
detective in season 3. Feel free to put
Season
Grayson.
2's already
Rival.
done being made, or else he would have been in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's already gonna be so much fan art of this guy.
Yeah, I loved it. And making characters is like my favorite thing. So it was a lot
Yep.
of fun for me.
Watching you make characters is one of my favorite things.
Thank you, Nathan.
I love it.
This rules.
Yeah, that's it for me. So we will go to Karina next.
It's me.
Anything you want to say in preface?
We did alarmingly similar things, but in completely different directions.
Oh, yeah?
Karina did a slow turn look at you when you explained what was happening. So I was like,
We rolled similar colors and we both did little demon fellas.
Oh, yeah?
Kind of.
Oh, I'm excited to see.
So I guess that can be the starting point.
All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
So you can see at points my colors at the top of the screen. I got a maroon and a bright red, which I thought were really nice together. And then this really bright mint green. And then this really pukish green. And then like a magenta. And I was like, well, that's an interesting combination that kind of doesn't work, but kind of does. And just so we're clear, I decided to reach back because I really like the character I did for the we all use the same description challenge. So
Yeah.
it's Loose's back because
Loose.
I really felt like doing some like really relaxed gestural drawing because there was no prompt and I wanted to have fun. So that's what
Hell
I
yeah.
did. And so because to
you do
me
a
the
little
colors were like kind of how you say sensual and like kind of a sexy color scheme, but they also had these really jarring contrasts, specifically like the bright minty color and then like that magenta color. So I kind of, my mind went to him because I talked about him having a corruption arc where he has like evil magic. And I decided that this was going to be a corruption arc drawing.
Yeah.
So I kind of just flopped everything in and then was trying to figure out what I wanted with this. And so that's a bit of what that is. And I decided that the maroon would be kind of the overall base. And then I started lining. And then I kind of wasn't sure if I liked where I was going with that and decided not to do that. Because something about that really pukish green really brought me back to the days of like in-browser drawing apps. Like,
Yeah.
I was back in 2008 on the Tagaki e-boards, and that's like one of the basic colors that you get on like MS Paint or something. So it really brought me back to that. And I was like, well, because I know we established that we could blend in stuff, but I decided to just kind of blot it in.
Yeah.
Kind of like, like I was back on Tagaki E. So I kind of approached this more like I would, how you say, like with my traditional work, because whenever I do like any painting or drawing, you're very limited to what colors you own. So, so I kind of viewed it like that, and it was a lot. I also did like a lineless style, and I did use black and white, just a tiny smidge of white, and I did have like a darker shade of the red and the maroon. So. But that was my palette. So then I just kind of treated it like a bit of a painting.
Yeah.
Dang, this anatomy is like
Yeah, did you
blowing
have a
my
reference for
mind.
this?
Not really.
Jeez.
Wow.
I was just vibing. I put on Lil Nas X and was like, it's Monday. Let's go. Yeah, because I thought even though the colors are like not super fitting together, they did have like a nice contrast for this kind of pose, and the mood was right. So this is where I went with it. And I did kind of work in different layers, but over time I just kind of would merge them together. It really was just me being like, wow, I miss Tagaki. I know it's back, but it's not the same.
Miss Old Tagaki.
Yeah.
That
Shout
new
out
shit.
to anyone on the Apollo Justice or the Gurren Lagann tags on Tagaki in 2008. Miss y'all. But yeah, so I was just putting all these big shapes in to make it look cool. And I was just having fun with this one.
It do.
Yeah, it do
And
look cool.
I wanted it to have this like sensual vibe, but also like an evil vibe.
Totally.
So, and I was really saving the magenta. Also, I was like, I should signal in that his feet are there. And then I was like, actually, this is stupid. So I deleted them.
Don't draw
But
feet if you don't want to.
it looked weird. So they don't get to be in this one. Sorry.
No feet.
Sorry, feet people.
No feet pics.
But
The most sensual foot.
I
is
was
the foot
trying
you
to
can't
figure out
see.
where I wanted the magenta to go, because to me that was like the one color that didn't vibe quite as well. But I was like, I'll deal with that later. So I wasn't really using it that much. But yeah, it's just a lot of me hecking around, throwing shit down. I didn't really have a plan for this. I was just vibing.
It's just like Shape City. I love it.
Yeah.
That mint, it's like iridescent.
Yeah.
Compared like when
It
it's
really
on this.
was a good role in that it's the perfect contrast to that red.
Yeah.
It's very similar. One thing I did with my palette is I didn't put them down in the order I rolled them. I put them down in the order of like their dark to light, like
That's what I did
value
as well,
wise.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I put, a little grayscale reference for myself just so I knew how those would look together. And then I wasn't sure what to do with this, so I made it into kind of like a little spotlight
Little
kind of thing.
cushion.
Kinda something. I wasn't really sure what the setting was here.
Doesn't matter.
It's a corruption arc. It's
yeah.
conceptual.
And then I decided that I was gonna use the magenta to make these like compositional type shape-a thingies.
That's so sick.
So it leads you down the page, because I felt like all that background space was really empty.
Swords of revealing light.
Yeah. And And then I
Ooh.
fuck around with the sword design. And then I was
Ooh.
like, actually, that's a bit much. So I delete most of it. I didn't want them to be too cool.
Yeah.
I like the simpler one.
But yeah. So then I put those in. And then yeah, and I decided that the magenta could also be like blood.
Like in
Cause-
Danganronpa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the fun thing about having limited color palettes is that all colors just relative to each other. So if you just have, like, if this is your color scheme, then you just
Yeah.
figure out what goes where. And then I put it at the bottom because the bottom felt really empty and I wanted to connect it to the rest of the drawing. And then I just fixed up some details last minute.
This is so
that's it.
cool.
Yeah, it's like the raddest thing.
Thank you.
It's so like
fun.
designy too.
It's gonna be so many phone backgrounds after this.
Yeah, this is a good phone
This is a
background.
great phone background.
Do you like taking risks?
Yeah.
Boy, do I have a phone background for you.
If you don't care if people know that you're horny,
Yeah.
use this as your phone background.
Yeah. But yeah, so this was my fun Monday piece. I had a good time with it. It really brought me back to just drawing on one layer with a mouse, except not.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
Dang. Amazing work.
Also, if you do care, if people know that you're horny in the direction that you want
You want them to know.
that you're horny,
Then
make this your
is-
phone
Yeah,
background.
make this your
Yeah.
phone background.
Or just do what I do with the horny art and make it your like home screen background so people see less of it.
It's just for you to enjoy.
cover his body up with apps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, Julia, you're the last one.
It's me.
Tell me what you did.
Well, why don't we just get into it and we can see it unfold.
Why don't we just get into it? 3, 2, 1, go.
So those are the colors I pulled.
Oh, pretty nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Ooh.
My first instinct was to do like a guy that's walking through like a club that has all the lights because it's very strong, contrasty colors, and then there's like a skin tone in between there. You can see that I organized my colors like Karina did, where it's, I categorized them basically. But then I was looking at them and I realized that I got exactly the colors of a kingfisher bird.
Burb.
And I love kingfisher birds. This is a very specific kingfisher that I was referencing. It has all these gorgeous colors, the blues and purples and pinks and stuff, and this bright orange beak. So I wanted to do like a tattoo design
Oh, cool.
of a kingfisher.
Yes, King.
So mine's a little simpler, but I don't know. I liked the idea of designing a tattoo because I've done a few illustrations of like someone having that dramatic neon lighting. I went through like a whole phase of doing that, and I wanted to push myself to do something that I don't normally do. Not that this is really pushing it because it's still my style, but yeah, I don't draw a lot of birds and I don't design tattoos typically.
Yeah, you hosted the bird episode.
I
you
hosted
get
the
to
bird
draw a
episode.
bird. I'm glad you get to draw a bird now.
Yeah. And I just love the shapes of kingfisher birds.
I love their name.
Yeah, it's wonderful. This one has a very long name, but they're very, very, very tiny, and they eat even tinier frogs and bugs in India and China.
Ooh.
You know, the most popular beer in India is called Kingfisher.
Really?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you see the bird, you're going to know why, because it's so pretty. But they also eat worms, which is what's in his mouth. They typically, kingfishers, I think the ones that people think of the most are the ones that dive into the water and pick up the small fish.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I wanted to have some water stuff in there. The one that I'm referencing, again, hunts. They hunt like near waters, but they're not the ones that go diving in. But yeah, I wanted to have just some crisp lines and some nice flow to the piece, some nice shapes.
Yeah, I love all the shapes and the composition.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good shapes. There's a board game that I
Okay.
play that's all about birds,
Okay.
and one of the really good birds to get is the kingfisher.
Hell yeah.
So that's
super rare bird.
So that's what this is making
You're gonna
me
want
think
this
of.
bird.
You're gonna want this
Yeah.
bird. It
Oh,
does some
yeah.
good stuff.
I love the way you organized all the shape stuff. It's such a good standalone design.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't really do like standalone designs that much, so
Could have fooled me.
I wanted to see how it would go.
Well, he's standing on a log.
Good joke, Nathan.
Oh,
Thank you.
And your point.
Well, the point is his beak.
He did it again.
He did it again.
Stop.
We can't stop him.
Sorry.
I love it. I'm all about it.
Making dumb jokes while watching cool art happen. That's a speed dry episode.
Yeah,
That's-
baby.
yeah.
Basically.
That's our channel.
That's what y'all come for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want it to
Cool.
be too like perfectly measured out. I wanted it to have some of that hand drawn quality.
Yeah, organic,
Yeah, the organic nature to it.
So water beans.
non-GMO shapes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that line thickness variation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you.
God.
Yeah, you saw me doing some little wiggle lines on the left of my canvas before I started doing the red lines.
Julia, your line work is
Beautiful.
awesome.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I was trying
Dope.
to find a special brush.
Stunning. Never seen before.
Oh, at
One
some
of a
point,
kind.
I make a flag for a nation of people who love kingfishers. So you can enjoy that.
Yeah, Kingfisher Pride Flag.
What's up, Kingfisher Nation? Back again with another Kingfisher video.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool colors.
Nice brush. Nice texture.
I realized
brush.
that it's a watercolor brush, I believe. I realized that kingfisher colors are actually brighter than what I have, but
Yeah.
since they were all dulled down equally, I figured it was enough to cheat.
It's just in some
Yeah.
low light.
Yeah. And I
Right.
tried to only use the colors, but I think with that orange I had to
Gotta
I wind
brighten
up
it up.
picking that brown color and then picking a iteration of it.
That's allowed.
Yeah. This really is such a lovely palette you rolled.
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't have any like jarring
No
sprites.
Yeah, just that like dull brown
Yeah.
peachy color.
It's wonderful.
That was the only like real loop I got. So yeah, this is me trying to figure out how to highlight the colors of the bird and keep that log distinct without going too far away from my original palette, which I play around with it a little bit more later.
I'd watch a video that was just you adjusting the color on the ring part of the log because it just goes do-do-do-do-do in.
It is very satisfying.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah,
This
I
is-
wanted to add some shadow to get some depth in there, but
Ah.
I just did I think I did like an overlay of the dark blue color that I was given for all of it, and I just let it play with whatever colors were underneath.
Man.
There's the flag.
Yeah,
There it is.
There it is.
So enjoy that.
Yeah, man, I see this on like some dude's arm. I'm like, that's a cool guy.
This really is a wonderful design.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, here's the other flag.
You got
That one too.
options,
Ooh, there-
nation.
Ooh, you did the thing again.
Yeah, I wanted to make the inside of the log be a different color than the bark, as it would be. I
That's
had
how
no idea
logs
what to do
work.
for the background, but that's what I.
The
this what I
background
wound
is
up
someone's
with.
arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my piece.
It's beautiful.
Amazing.
It's so
As
cool.
Itty bitty kingfisher.
I love it.
I love it.
That's a good bird.
This was a great challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well,
absolutely love this.
I
This is
love
such a
these
relaxed episode.
I hope people like it.
Looser, more open-ended challenges.
Yeah, everyone should try this out
Yeah,
sometimes.
it really is. If you don't have any ideas, because people often ask us like, "What do you do when you don't have any ideas?" This is a great one because it's just
Yeah.
like mess around with just these colors.
Yeah, limitation breeds creativity.
Yeah, give yourself 5 random colors and just mess. Just do a little mess. Make
You
a
can
mess.
And no
watch
cheating.
us in this one. We all did it.
Yeah.
We all came in with like head empty and then created a piece. So
Yeah.
Well, I just hope people like it enough that we get enough views where we can do it again. Because I want to do it again.
We can do it
Yeah.
again.
It
no
was
matter
really
what.
fun. I'd like to do it again. So please
Yeah.
ask us to do it again.
Yeah.
If this
Please.
video gets 10 million views,
Whoa. It'll be our first video with 10 million
Yeah, then
views.
that's it. That's the sentence.
It'll have blown
yeah, if it gets 10 million
all of
views,
our
that'd be
other
awesome.
that'd be
videos
awesome.
out of the water.
Someone finally usurps feel.
yeah. I forgot to say at the beginning, this suggestion came from someone.
Okay.
I
Wow.
just totally forgot, so I'll probably pop it up in the beginning in the edit, but I'll say it now.
yeah,
Say it
stay
now.
tuned.
And this is also a good segue because it came from the Drawfee Discord, which you can get on if you join the Drawfee Patreon. And it was from Emmy, who said create a piece inspired by a random color palette, which is exactly what we did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Emmy, for the suggestion. And if you want to leave suggestions for us that we'll do for episodes, you can join the Drawfee Patreon, join the Drawfee Discord, and leave them in the appropriate channel. And I go in there all the time and scroll through and pick ones to do. So it's a good way to get your suggestion heard.
Yeah, but you can also just leave it in the comments right here
yeah.
I look there too. I
with
look
all
both places.
the 10 million other viewers who have left comments on this video.
Every viewer left one comment.
Yep.
10
Yeah.
million comments.
Whoa.
Such engagement.
Do please leave 10 million likes
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
10 million subscribes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can
Each.
watch us on Twitch on Monday nights. We want to have 10 million viewers there as well.
Yeah.
Give me
Concurrent.
10 million reasons to like your show.
I'm 10 million sorries.
I'm too sorries.
I'm just one sorry.
Sorry.